Okay, we are going live here in just a second. There we are. I'm going to get my things all set up here. My ship deflector, so to speak. And I'm going to do this right here for now. Okay. All right. Well, I'm here this morning. Hopefully, we have a good audience coming in, and certainly welcome in. I know I'm starting just a couple minutes early, so just kind of waiting for everybody to get in here. See if I can't straighten this out just a bit. There we go. Oops. Yeah. Trying to get that just so. I'm using a gooseneck today for my camera, so. We'll just wait for some people to get in here a little bit before we get started. I know it's just now hitting 10 o'clock, so usually it takes a couple minutes for people to get in here. Ah, there we have somebody. Good. What am I creating and God bless? Well, and in that order. Well, thanks to God bless. We got this walnut bowl that we are going to turn the inside of today. And then I got a special guest piece of wood that we'll be doing after that. Hopefully, depending on how long it takes to do this one. But I got the outside done the other day. And now we're going to start getting ready to do the inside. So, hi, CJ. Let me know. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, no? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. So, first things first. First things first is to remove the faceplate here because I already got everything done on the outside of this. And I did a little cleaning up of it yesterday off camera. Here we go. I don't think you needed to watch me spending a couple hours sanding and polishing the outside. But I will say this seems to be a very forgiving piece so far of wood. That's good. Hopefully it is just as nice to use on the inside to me as it was on the outside. And we shall find out. Okay. So we're going to be mounting this on the chuck. Use my small chuck. This is a big piece of wood, and it's very heavy. I'd say it's probably around 7-8 pounds at least, maybe a little bit more. Oops. And I made the recessed miter a little bit larger than I normally do as far as depth goes, but I think it'll have a good hold. Let's power it up just to see. Yeah, it seems to be running nice and pretty true. Good. Good. That's the first step. Turn it on low and see if it runs well. Okay. Turn this one. I think we'll turn this one off for now. I'm giving you a little different view today too, so hopefully that'll help out. No, I have to move that just a little bit. There we go. Still too big to get this underneath. The only way I can get in here is from the outside because it's just not enough clearance to get my my banjo underneath the wood. Yeah, like I said, it's a big piece. So, okay, well, we got a few guys starting off in here, and we'll just get started a little bit here and let the others catch up to us. How about that? So let me put on my helmet. And there we go. Hopefully you can hear me okay when I'm talking. And we're going to start off with this gouge here. And what I want to do at first is just kind of make sure we kind of say hello to this surface. Get a little bit of feel for it. We've got to flatten this out a little bit. It's got a big, huge divot right here that I don't want to accidentally hit coming around, because that'll just stop everything. And then it'll hit here too. So I got to be really careful as I'm coming into this how we're going to set that up. But I'm going to kind of take it a little. In fact, you know what? I think I'll bring up my tailstock right now, just for this first part, just because of that. I started thinking about that. I think bringing up the tailstock, I don't normally support with the tailstock. Usually I can do it without, but I think in this particular case that might be prudent. It gives me a little more protection from things flying off, and I can be a little bit more aggressive in my approach. So we're going to try to level this out first. There's that chunky piece, dip I should say. Even when something to the eye looks like it's flat, often isn't. I kick that speed up, and I'm going to take the watch off. I don't want my watch in the way there. I guess I should mention the other day. Hey, big dog. The other day, I lost my signal 3 times, but I did come right back on. So if for some reason we disconnect, the signal comes off, we are experiencing some weather issues around here today. So if for some reason there's a disconnect, please just check out, wait like 2 minutes and check again to see if my live has popped back up again. And you'll probably see me back on. I'm going to try and get through this. So I didn't have any problem for weeks. every once in a while, I hit one of those days where I lose the signal like 2 or 3 times. I don't know why. I suspect it is my Comcast internet provider, Xfinity, but I can't swear to it, and I'm not going to be saying them here. Good. Just want to see how it's coming. Yeah, we still got a lot of this to remove. We're going to get into this, and this is going to be something that's going to be a problem all the way down when we're turning. So it's something that I have to deal with. That's what's going to make this a little bit exciting. Hey, Robert. By the way, guys, it's, if you can, help Robert get this 20 or 25 or 30 more subscribers so he can start going live. We need Robert to go live because he does some good turnings. We want to see them. So we've been doing Christmas ornaments and stuff. So please check out Robert. Robert, if you want to put your channel up there, that'd be great. Yeah, thank you, soldiers. So, yeah, smash the like button. Subscribe if you would here. Last night, Jamie from Boondock Builds did a live turning. He was doing a pin. I say it had LSU colors. I said it was LSU colors. He said it was for the Eastern Carolina University, ECU. But regardless, it was a nice pin he was turning, and you should check out Jamie. He does a lot of woodworking and a little bit of turning. He has a lot of good Christmas decoration ideas that almost anybody can do in their little home shop. And Mike at Whacking Shack has been turning out some beautiful stuff lately. And the one I really wanted to mention was this morning, LJ Woodworking. LJ at LJ Woodworking put out a video this morning. You can go back and check on it later. And he was doing a segmented bowl. It had like, I think, 130 or 140 segments or something like that to the bowl. And he did it all with carbides that he doesn't usually use carbide, but he wanted to try it. So go check him out after we're done here today. Most of these people are in my description area. You can find out how to go who some of my other friends are that are turning, and check out their channels. Some of 77 Rockets, of course, Brian. So you can always tell walnut. It always has the same very distinct, almost looks like tobacco shreds. If anybody's ever seen old tobacco shreds, this is what walnut does. It that's just what it looks like. You can almost always tell when you're turning something, even if you don't know what the piece of wood is. When it starts to turn, you can tell it's walnut. I can also tell you it's very hard because I just sharpened this, and I'm already having trouble cutting through it. See that? We're going to have to work to hollow out this bowl. Now, some guys, they'll take a Forstner bit and they'll cut down through the wood with a Forstner bit, then go back and turn it. I don't think that's actually going to save us that much time. And in fact, was kind of thinking of this bowl. I was thinking we might do something unusual with it too, but we'll wait and see. It's such a beautiful piece of wood. I'm hoping that we're able to see it on the inside as much as it is as beautiful as it is on the outside. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get below, getting near below that gap. And see where we're at. Yeah, that one's done. Now we got this big crack here. And of course, we got this one here. There's going to be a lot of challenges in this thing before we're through. But I'm going to kick the speed up. 600. You can hear that crack, and that's why I wanted to keep the gouge at an angle here. If I was straight up like this, it would hit that gap and it would just break right off. By doing it this way, we're kind of shearing it through it. You can hear that thing hitting. It's quite a crack. I'm going to have to go back this way. I do have a concern for that crack sound, so I want to take another look. See, this is getting nice and big in here. And that's okay, because most of this is going to get cut out. And actually, we'll probably get below some of that eventually. This one, I think we're getting underneath that crack now. So we'll see how far it goes. Hey, soldier, you got your central machinery. That's good. Like 4-jaw chuck, that's good. Jacob jaws, well, you're going to be all set up, soldier. Hey, Mike. So Mike is making stuff. Good to see you also. You're looking at building your own chuck. You're not going to make it out of a 3D CNC or something, are you? Knowing Mike, you'll make it out of an old 72 Toyota gearbox, and it'll work like a charm. But that's just the kind of stuff he likes to do. He's really, really good at figuring out things like that. Boy, that's really check. that's loud, isn't it? Whew! That is really loud. And I paint, and still got the crack here. Widens out a little bit again. You got another crack here. This crack, and this one right here. It's like looking at the fault lines in California. And almost none of this was visible from the outside of the bowl. So these are internal cracks in a lot of cases. Well, I should say unanticipated. I mean, I knew of a couple of them there, but I didn't realize that they were going to go this far in. But that is one of the reasons why I decided to turn the bowl the way I did. Looking at changing, I think I might change here just to see what does this feel like with a carbide, or if a carbide can even do this. It might just grab the carbide and just tear it right out of my hand. So let's just do a very slow turn here. Not pushing into it at all. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this on the side. Make sure I don't grab. I got to be really careful on the edge here. If you present the tool wrong, it will grab. So, and I'm not going to give you an example here because, quite honestly, I don't want to lose this bowl. It may happen anyway, whether I want to or not. You can see here, even this is so hard. This is such dense wood that this carbide is having trouble biting through it. See how smooth and hard that is. Off to do school stuff. Okay, well, we'll see you later. Soldier, you be careful with the students. And we'll probably still be here for you when you get back. Please do hit the like button and subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It does let you know when we're doing our lives, and we do them every Thursday and usually one or two other times during the week. We'd like to get to at least 4,000 subscribers here before the end of the year. And I'm also trying to get to about 4 million views by the end of the month or so. Or, I'm sorry, 3 million views by the end of the month. I'm kind of trying to concentrate on that crack zone here a little bit. I'm also trying to keep those sides trim. It's a very easy thing when you see a crack like this to try and avoid that by making it too thick. This is actually too thick for what I want. I'm wanting it just a little bit less than this, but we're going to have to ease up on it, I think, because I don't think we're going to be able to do it all at once. But we also don't want it to get away from us. So you have to kind of keep going back and scrubbing that along the way. Where you start getting that thing where it dives towards the center and you don't have, it doesn't match the outside of the. Make sure this is nice and even. Okay. I'm going to see if I can move you in just a little bit on the picture here without screwing everything up in the process. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. You can see a little bit better what we're doing. Yeah, thanks, big dog. Appreciate it. I hope it's warming up where you're at. We've been having a lot of, we had a beautiful day yesterday, sunny and about 55 degrees. And this morning it's cloudy and we're expecting another inch of rain. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but in California, an inch of rain can be about 10% of what we get for the whole year. So that's a lot, and it's important. That is, if our governor ever built something to catch it in. Our governor, Newsom, who wants to be your next president, Newsom is busy trying to close down a lot of our dams because living in these he actually cut off the water supply to San Francisco is what he did by closing down one dam because he wants everything to go back to a natural what California was before humans got here. And I don't think that's going to happen when you have 30 million people, 30 or 40 million people here, you know? I mean, you can't go back to what it was. And water is going to be a very precious commodity here in the next few years. And the last 3 times that we've had major rainstorms coming through here in the last few years, he's done absolutely zero to capture any of it. He just lets it run out to the ocean, shuts down the dams, and he doesn't do anything. So I can't imagine him doing much better as president of the United States. That'll be up to you guys. I'm not here to talk politics. All I know is that if I was a governor back when we had those big rainstorms, I'd have been having every ditch digging tool at my beck and call, digging holes in the ground and keeping some of that water for future use rather than letting it all go away. I just don't understand that thinking, and I guess I never will. That way, when you have the bad years, you have some extra water saved up. You can't understand that. Anyway. Still cloudy. Huh. Camera, I'm looking on my screen. My screen looks clear. I don't know if it's you or what. I've got it here. That help a little bit? I don't know. It's a little bit bigger. Okay, let's see where we are in those cracks now. Well, this one's kind of diminishing, it looks like. That one looks like it's diminishing. That's good. And we may have one on here later because I see a crack that runs laterally this way across on the outside. It may show up inside, maybe not. Of course, this has another inch or two to go before we're out of that space. So it's going to be interesting. And by the way, this is a new blade on here. Just so you know, on this carbide. Well, I'm going to try something different. Just to see. You probably need to get an edge on it. I'm just wondering if this is too big of a scraper for this kind of bowl. I'm gonna have to take this nib off first. Let's see if we can get over that. There we go. Take this off. I gotta try and do this without snagging it. And that's the hard part sometimes of this. Because you can snag. One of the reasons I don't like using a tailstock up. You just don't want to try and take it all off at once, that's for sure. You get wobbly on you. So far it's cooperating. I just want to make sure I'm not getting into anything before I... Yeah, see, I got to watch out for that right there. As I start to tear this down. And it's funny how many different colors of walnut you can get from a walnut tree. This, I believe, this was from a branch that I cut down a year or so ago. And so you get a different grain than you do from the trunk, and a different color. And of course, some of the trunk stock that they use, they graft on. You got English walnut and black walnut and American walnut and so on. They take the root stock that might be, say, black walnut or something, and they graft on another stock to it. Out here, they grow walnuts for the walnuts. So we have walnut groves that have 50, 60-year-old walnut trees that are, then they take them out because they're not producing as much, and they start some new ones, or one falls down or whatever. So a lot of the walnuts that we get around here was farmed walnut, I guess you'd call it. That's how we get a lot of our wood. We got a lot of fruit tree. I mean, this valley where I'm in, we grow stuff for the entire world. So it could be from anywhere. Looks like Mike from the Whacking Shack keeps putting up. Oh, the weather being. Oh, okay. The weather is cloudy. Okay, I thought you meant my picture was cloudy. I'm sorry. Yeah, we need to get Robert 50 or so we can go live. There. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Big Max, for putting that up there. Yeah, we want to see some of Robert's stuff, and he can't go live on YouTube until he has a certain number of subscribers. So it's be over 50. So, and even then, you're kind of limited for a while. There we go. Now, I don't know if I got the right. I might need to fix it. I might need to sharpen it a little bit before I do this. I just was kind of curious. Would this thing hog out this bowl? I think as we get down into it, it would, but I gotta get that sharpened a little bit first. Let's see. Stretch out the metal a little bit and try and do a little peel up. Yeah, I maybe have done that too many times already. It might need to use the grinder, but I just want to try it. See if I can get it. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit better, but yeah, this one probably needs to go back to get a. Yeah, I probably need to get a little bit of help from the grinder first before I can use that again. Oops, sorry, guys, need to bump you. Like this. See, now we got this in the center. That's a piece of an old knot from a limb. It was probably part of this. This may all be connected here, and that may all end up being hollowed out. That was probably this thing with what they call an inclusion, where the bark folds in on itself. And a branch, this is, you tell there's a piece of a branch here. So what's going to happen is that's probably part of what that was too. And it may have been in this piece that came out over here, even. So I don't know. So it's going to be interesting going down through this. And again, it's going to be a harder, different piece of wood because it is branched wood going in a different direction than the grain. And very lightly there. Very lightly. I want to see what's coming out of that. It's actually making an indentation here, so something's, yeah, it's really hard right there. Soft here. Obviously, I can't do that all in one piece. So. Yeah, please. I got 250 people in here. Please hit that like button or double tap the screen. Give us a like while you're in here. We definitely appreciate it. Hi, Newt Hansen, and where are you from, sir? If you're listening, please let us know. Yeah, Robert. Big Dog has a warehouse full of wood. At least from what we've seen in some of his pictures. Could open up his own lumber store. They're slowly making progress. And I predict this will get easier. starting to take a bowl shape just a little bit. Starting to take a bowl shape. That is hardwood, but you can see some of the grain work in here that goes in different directions, swirling around in there a little bit. So it's going to be interesting when we get it all done. That's for sure. I'm hoping that some of that grain really pops out of there. I'm going to let's see. I'm going to have to get this in here a little better, a little closer if I can. I don't like to extend. I don't like to be extended more than about this far out from the tool over the rest, because when you do that, your tendency is to get it caught and go down. So far, we're dealing pretty well with these cracks. This one's diminished just a little bit, but we have to have that big one right there. And I think we're going to have one starting here in the middle here pretty quick, too. It just looks that way in there. You need to get the sides to match the bottom here a little bit. You know, I'm going to adjust this cutter because I think we've dulled that blade. In fact, it's hot as hell. I know the friction is building up on it. We're going to turn this just a little bit. Whoa, it's hot. Don't move. Wow, this is really, really hot. So I know that the friction is building up on it. Okay, that cuts just a little bit better. And yeah, it's actually dulled a carbide blade in the first inch. That should tell you something. Often I can go through a whole bowl, sometimes even 2 bowls. Whoa, didn't want that. Problem with the new blades, it can tend to dig in, bite in deeper, and I don't want it to bite in too much. I don't want it taking off too much at once. Well, that's a big improvement. That'll speed things up a bit. Sharpening your blade. Or as we often say, if you feel that your tool is dull, you should have changed it probably 10 minutes before that. Boy, that crack just stays coming, doesn't it? And now we got this one just about gone there. So gotta get below that crack if I can. trying to use without catching. But working with that pit, not easy. I hope you're learning a little something along the lines of this, because that's one of the reasons I did this one. So I wanted to kind of make sure that people can kind of see what do you have to deal with when you're dealing with a live piece of wood with different things going on. Like see here, that's now changing. This is becoming softer a little bit, but it looks like you can undercut that eventually. This crack is starting to go away, so we may be making progress here. We hope we are. That curve down on the bottom is the hard part right now. I'm dealing with that empty space. Yeah. Ooh. All right. That's starting to get a little bit wobbly on me there, so I'm going to double check my truck. Yeah, it seems to be good and secure. Speed is still running true. It's good. So let's see here. Hi, Andrew and Jimmy. Good to see you. And Stefan. I think it's Stefan. And Juan and Tony. And I think it's Tremont. Like, I don't have my glasses on. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to see the small print. But welcome in, guys. And please feel free to comment to add to the conversation. I think therefore I am, but I think it's time to take this off and go to a different tool rest. I'm going to take this one off. And I will use this one now. I'm going to place this. Let's see, how can I best do this? I'm going to work on the side a little bit more than the middle at the moment, so I'll probably work here. Right up there. This will allow me to come in here. I won't do it right in the center, but it'll allow me to come in here and around the edge where I need a little more support, where I'm not out quite so far. And that allows me to have a little more control. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I did that in slow, mostly because I wanted to be able to just kind of make sure I was getting a curve in the bottom again like I did. Oops. Well, I really wish I could get past that occlusion. That's really what's slowing this whole process up. Whoa, that wasn't good. I'm gonna have to check that. Yeah, there's just all sorts of little ones in here. So let me double check my mount. Make sure I'm still good on here. Well, it's got locked a little bit off, so let me. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you got to be really careful with that. And I got to get some of this mound out of the middle here, so I'm gonna move this over just a bit. And part of what's happened here is this tourist needs to be raised up just a little bit. Still a little low, but it's workable. some sort of rumbling again. I'm not sure what I'm rumbling on here. So, some rough wood right there. Not sure what's causing that. I might have to change this blade again. It may have dulled this blade again. Across here it's going fine. Crazy. So, thank you, Robert. I clicked the like button. Hi, Boris. I'd still like to know where you guys are from. I know a lot of you come in here and you say hi, and I don't get any comments from you. I know you can type. I know you can hear me. So, wo bist du? ¿Dónde está? Where are you? Try some different languages. Sorry, but German and Spanish are about the only ones I know. Everything else, I'm just about the only thing I know is how to ask where the bathroom is. So, look at this. It's still cutting. It's still cutting. Just have to keep moving this back and forth. Yeah. But that's why I'm trying to avoid that banging there. And I'm not really removing any material at that angle. That's kind of the problem I have. Let's see. Maybe if I use this good sized scraper here, I can get down in there. see? See what that's doing to it. Smoothing it out. You're not going to need a lot of sanding when it's done. Looks like we're kind of getting rid of these. I can see them from this side. We've got these cracks right here. 1, 2, 3 cracks here and here. So we're getting there. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. We're halfway into the bowl. I think the second half will go like a little bit better than the first half did. Freeze that just a little bit. So we can get in there and cut a little bit better. Man, what am I? Something else hit. Oh, now I got a divot here. Well, this thing just keeps presenting new things to me. Okay, well, we'll just keep fighting back. I need to take this helmet off my forehead for just a second. Man, I can't even pronounce that last one there. I'm just going to call you 1600, but hi. That's a good one. So, we got quite a few people watching. I hope you're all hitting the like button. Just keep hitting that like button and let us know that you're here and that you're enjoying what you're watching. Like I said, a challenging bowl for today. And that's okay. We like challenging bowls. Like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to find inside, right? And Forrest Gump thing. A little tiny bit of wobble in this. I'm not sure where it's coming from. That miter's on good and tight. It's wobbling just a little bit. That's a little disconcerting. Good news is we're getting near the bottom. We're not there yet. Whoa! But we are getting near there. And as such, we're going to start getting some of these catches. So let me reset that. Didn't damage the miter at all, of course, but good. Okay. We're pretty well in there. And every time it comes around, and I may go to a different scraper here, but every time it comes around here, it catches that if I'm not at the right angle. The good news is we're getting past this. We're getting past that. Most of the other cracks are starting to disappear. So that's the good news here, is that we are starting to get past the problem. If we can just hang on a little bit longer, we should be able to finish this bowl. No guarantees, but the nice thing about a scraper is that it doesn't take as much pressure. It doesn't take as much off. I'm going to try and raise that just a little bit. You gotta do that a few times, and then you're gonna have to take it back over to the grinder and reset the grind, and then you can put a new microscopic lip of. You can feel it. I can feel it right there. You got to be really careful, and you've got to angle this down just very slightly to get the best cut out of it. And I've got to be really careful here because I don't want to fix that knot in here. I'm trying to maintain that slope. think we are getting below that a little bit now. Yeah, we're starting to get a little below that. Just a little bit more. It ends right here, so it ends about where I'm going to be ending the curve of the bowl. So, all right, well, we'll just keep working on that. What do you think so far, though? Is this going to be a nice looking bowl when we're done? Huh? Let's do it really lightly. Very lightly. I let that, it's a very aggressive, this is a very aggressive cut, as you can see this angle here. And if I push in too hard, it's going to grab and tear this thing right off. So I have to go very lightly around that curve. It's very easy for that to grab too much material or undercut too much material. And if it starts to do that, I lose control. See here where all the force is straight in, it can go pretty deep. If you come around the side, especially with that big problem in the corner here, I have to go very lightly and not try to take too much off at once. When I do, it'll grab. I gotta be really careful with that slope. Now, that's interesting. I'm getting some waves in here. Looks like that we're pretty clear. We got obviously some cracks in here, some stress cracks. That's just going to happen. We are about here in the bowl, so we've probably got about another inch to go. So let's go get that last inch. I do appreciate you all being around here. We're only taking about a 64th of an inch off each straight, so in theory that would take us about 64 times through this to get that 1 inch. I'll see if I can't speed that up just a little bit. But we are going to have to be careful how much we take off at any one time. was a little bit more, like a 1/16 of an inch as I was taking off there, so that might speed this up a little bit. I have to move this over. It's because of the angle that I'm using that I have to move it the way I do. So excuse my getting in the way here just a little bit. I got to come inside on this thing. Come along. I'm not talking much right now because I'm trying to keep my tongue. I'm kind of chewing on my tongue, trying to make sure I don't ruin this angle here as we go. I really want to make sure that this angle is set. I also want to make sure I get this a little bit better too, to be honest with you. I'm not really happy with the way that's going. A little bit of a bounce there. Now, the temptation on something like this when you're turning it is that, it becomes really long and hard to do, and you tend to stop short. And this really is not a good place to stop because we're stopping right about here, and there's this much left in the basin of this. So we really want to make sure we keep scooping that out all the way through. I'm going to switch scrapers here for just a minute. Get a little bit more of an angle on this. Okay, got that. Now I can come over here and get this other part. Maybe I'll go back to this carbide for just a minute. Now make sure you keep your your hand out of the way too. Get into the bowl. Using this much like an aggressive scraper. Take out some of this stuff in the middle. Make sure I'm not coming across another crack. No? Okay, good. Good. Now I can use this to take up this guide here. And that's where I gotta be really careful. Very slow turn. Slow amount at a time. Slowly sloping. And you want it to go, you want it to carry all the way up the side. You want it rubbing. You want it rubbing. And you can look down. Sorry. Drop the guys there for a second. There. You can look down so that you can see, am I in line with the outside? Does my inside and my outside match up? And that's really important as you're doing it. So you're just sloping at the right time. That's the key. Try to work on that edges a little bit more. But this is looking good coming down. Just needs to go down in a little bit more. Ooh. Okay, now that's where I got to worry about what's going on right here. There's something right here. Go back to the scraper. Oh, the big scraper here. Just gonna work that out of there. There's something right there. I'm gonna let the scraper take it out. Whatever it is. There's something banging right there. Take light strokes. Let's stir this out a little bit. There, now we're starting to make something out of this. Yeah, please help Robert G get to his 50 so we can start going live. Help go back and check out LJ's woodworking this morning. He put out a really good little video. Check out Big Dog here. Also check out all the other guys that are on my site. The 77 Rockets, Whacking Shack, Timber Designs, all those guys. They all offer something a little different. Some are more woodworking and a little less wood turning. And I will point out one thing. I have about 170 videos on my channel, and a lot of them are not just repeats of the lives, but some of them are actual instructional videos, especially the ones I did 2-3 months back. A lot of them are 2-minute shorts, or the shorts are connected to a longer video. That I spend a lot of time teaching you about the lathe, about different techniques, the differences between carbides and scrapers and gouges, and how to use them, and sharpening tips. Also, some general wood shop tips in there too. There's a Moxon. There's a Moxon device. There's a shooting board. There's several different jigs and other things that I've built over the years that I share with you. So please feel free to look at some of those videos, especially some of the old ones. Particularly, I like the one with the black palm that I did. That one sold for $75, and you're not going to see black palm being turned very often. So it's a very unique wood turning, and I'm kind of proud of that one. Okay, how much further do I want to go down? Yeah, I have to be a little bit careful because there's a slice off here, so that's why I had to come in just a little bit right here because I was going to get really close to the edge. In there. But now, we're starting to come in. I want to make sure it's a slow and gradual turn in. Okay. Sides are getting smooth. And right about here, you need to go down just a little bit more. I think what I'll do is I'll set my final depth and then work back to it from there. Work on that slope. Make sure that angle stays good. And on here. Now let's see where we're at. Getting there. Yeah, we are getting there. Just a little bit, guys, just a little bit more. How do you fix damage that have there, Tommy? Tommy, I'm not sure what you mean by the damage I have there. You mean, how do I fix this? I'm not going to fix that. I want to leave those. Those are natural to the wood, and people actually appreciate leaving that natural stuff in there. So I'm not going to be fixing any of that. And I don't think I'll have to worry about any of the cracks either. The other thing I'm trying to fix right now is make sure that everything is nice and even. So when I go to sanding, but if, Tommy, if you can clarify your statement there just a little bit, I'd be happy to answer it for you. There are ways to fix, just so you know, there are ways to fix cracks, and I've done that on several of my videos. In fact, I even have a separate small short video that you can watch on my channel that talks about making cracks go away. It doesn't eliminate them, but it eliminates the look of them. I mean, because a crack is a crack unless, of course, you cut it out or something like that. You can't. I suppose you could try and fill a crack, but you can't always do that either. But you can make a crack disappear to the eye. And I've done that several times on live, but I've also done it on a separate video that you can watch. I believe it even says the word crack in it, so if you research crack on my channel, you should be able to find it. Okay, now let's see how we feel here. I feel like I'm getting down there pretty good. I can feel this right here with my thumb and my forefinger. You can feel with your thumb and forefinger about where you're at. I can see I'm sloping in right here. Yeah, probably just a little bit more. As I started to say, this is one of the problems that you have when you first are turning a bowl like this, is that you tend to go, man, I've been turning this forever. It looks good. I'm going to stop. And when you do that, you look at the bowl, and then you tend to go back and remount it later on and turn it again, because it just doesn't feel right in your hand. So you learn to have a little patience and just stick with it. And turn it until you're done. And that's a lot. It's a hard thing to get used to doing, because you're so excited. It's like, I want to see what this is going to look like when I put some finish on it. I really think it's going to be really great. You guys are going to really like it. I really want to get to that point. But if I don't make sure that the shape looks good now, I'm going to keep looking at it and going, geez, I need to fix that shape. So it's better that we do it right the first time, and we don't have to go back and return it again. Unless it's a green bowl. I mean, you saw me do a green one last week where I returned the bowl, and it came out really nice. Okay, so we're getting that. Get that little center out. I think we're about as bottomed out as we can get on the bottom. It's just a matter of bringing up this side here. And we're all fitting together. Okay. Yeah, that little dot on the center there, and we'll be fine. Okay. I think we got a bowl. Yay! Hey, Chase, good to see you. Hey, folks, if you haven't checked out New Beginnings Woodworks, you should check him out. He's got some really good stuff on there, and we're trying to get him to do some more lives for us. And he's getting there. But him and Robert both, we're trying to get both of them in there. Now, there is a little bit of ingrain stuff in there. I'm going to have to sand out, I guess. Let's see if I can get that just kind of scraped out. I don't know. Need the scraper. I'm going to use my finish scraper here. See if I can get that to kind of clean up just a little bit. Okay, good. Yeah, took out some of that. Yeah, got a little of that ingrain stuff out of there. Good. All right. Yay. So now the fun stuff, the sanding. And I gotta put some of these tools away so I don't lose them. Put them in the wrong spot. These gouges out of here. So we ended up using a lot of different ones this time, just to see what we get out of them. And again, the scraper kind of came to our rescue. The scrapers are a wonderful tool, underutilized, I think. And that and the skew, both. So I didn't really need the skew in this one. I'm going to take some of the sawdust out of here. Whew, that's enough sawdust to build another bowl. And you know, they make a coring system that you can take a large bowl and you can core 2 or 3 bowls out of it by undercutting each one. So instead of cutting through the whole bowl and taking everything out of it, you actually end up with 2 or 3 bowls from the one beautiful piece of wood. And that's great if you can do it. It's not good for all woods, and it's usually only for bowls that are at least 12 inches or bigger. So unless you have a big lathe like a Powermatic or something, it probably isn't practical to try and do, but they are available. And you can get 3 or 4 pieces out of a 20-inch bowl. Okay, well let's get the sanding on this, and got a little bit out of position there. So got this going to catch the dust. We'll make that edge a little nicer. That was very hard walnut. Here we are. Okay. to eliminate all that pattering that was going on that's going around. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put it in reverse. Do this again. There we are. Good. Okay. I'll get a little of this end grain. Make sure it's got really well sanded. I know it's kind of hard to know where the end grain is because the wood has such a pattern, but yeah, the grain generally is going across this way, so end grain. Okay, go up a little bit. That was just the easy grit, just to pick off any little things. Now we'll go to a 120 grit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because honestly, the scraper did most of the work for us. This makes a very nice, smooth finishing cut. And I'm just feeling in both directions as I go. Because this is a very hard wood, I don't think I'm going to have too much trouble with it. And we didn't lose this. I did use a little super glue on that to make sure that we wouldn't lose it on the outside, but I wasn't sure if we'd get all the way through the inside. A little CA glue, shouldn't say super glue, I should say CA glue. We did a little CA glue in there, and that helped keep that bark inclusion in there. I'm just feeling with my fingers as I go here, okay? We'll go up to 240. This is walnut, Jake. Sorry I didn't mention it. Yeah, this is walnut. It's part of the bowl I was turning the other day. I did the outside of it. Now we're doing the inside of it. And it was a very heavy, heavy piece of wood. And it's, yeah, I don't think I need to go any further than that, quite honestly. It's a very heavy piece of wood. Ah, good. I can take this off. Take this off. Whew. Ah, that makes me feel better already. Okay, so we have, yeah, going to vacuum this out just a little bit before I put the finish on it because it may have a lot in there. So, throw this out of the way. When you want to put a finish on, you don't want to have all this all this dust and dirt in the way when you go to do your finish. All right. 1 minute of cleaning up. Rid of a lot of mess. And now the inside over here. There are some things on the outside that did not appear on the inside, which is nice. I wasn't sure. There. We'll get the floor later. But let's put something on this, huh? I'm gonna put a little of our pre-finish on here, or oil it. And let's just see what this looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally hit a button again. Bear with me here so I can get my signals back. Always a pain when you accidentally hit something on your computer and you have to go find everything again. Here we are. Well, you know, even I get to watch the commercial. Okay, so good. Okay, back here. All right, so let's get this cleaned up a little bit, and you get to see what all this looks like. Okay. And it's sucking in pretty. Now this is a dried piece of walnut. I've dried this. This had this over a year, so it is a drying piece of walnut. It's one of the reasons it was nice and hard. If I'd have turned this green, it would have been a little bit easier, and or done green and then gone back to it to finish it off later. See, I love this occlusion here. I think that just kind of sets it off for me. Go around the edge here. Make sure we're getting all that wood. We'll do the outside again too here in a minute. Well, the inside is sucking this up. It's actually almost all gone. As fast as I just did that, it's almost sucked it all in. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I will take the bowl off here in a minute, and you can see it a little bit better. But and get the light in there a little bit better. You can see all the movement of the wood here, all the swirls. Boy, it's just sucking this up. That's good. That means it's going to go into the fibers. It's going to harden. It's going to dry, and then 24 hours later, I can go back and buff this out. And that's usually what you have to do. You have to wait for this stuff to get inside the fibers and really harden. You don't want to do your finish all at once. So take your time, let it get in there and harden. If you need to go back and maybe re-sand a couple places where it is the end grain raised up a little bit after you put the finish on, then that's fine too. But man, this is already dry, right? Dry to the touch in many places. I'm going to do the outside real quick here again. And we're going to, all right. It says a beautiful color on this wood, I think. What do you guys think? Came across to this live feed. Hi, Dave. Has anybody ever approached you to turn a bowl for the KitchenAid mixer? No. Good point. In fact, we got a KitchenAid mixer. You could, although I don't think a wood bowl would stand up to some of the pounding that well, maybe it would, but I mean, you really have to be, what are you mixing in the bowl? And you have to make sure it's the right kind of wood so that it's not going to impart any kind of uh, tannins or flavors or anything into the wood. You'd have to seal it really good. I don't think it's the best idea, quite honestly, because you can't put it in the dishwasher and dishwash it either. So it'd be a little bit harder to sanitize the bowl. I'm just not sure it would look beautiful on the kitchen, and maybe if you used it to replace the bowl when you were just having it sitting on the counter, that might be good. But I'm not sure that I would actually use it to turn to mix food in. This is perfectly good for putting your apples in or something like that, especially if you use a food safe finish like beeswax, something like that. Um, and there's no problem with that. This is a dried piece of walnut. I don't think you're going to get anything leaching out of it, so to speak. So definitely you could use this as a fruit bowl. It's a good question though. Is Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah. And there are certain woods that, like I said, there are certain woods that you can use, with wood like acacia. They use those for cutting boards and all that. So, and you put a beeswax or a mineral oil finish on it, and that's probably good. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting idea. Yeah, I'm not sure that. I would guess it might be something like acacia, only because that's a bowl you see, or bamboo. Could be bamboo. They're using a lot of that in these cutting boards that you see in the stores. Both of those woods, because they grow fast, they are relatively easy to work with, and I'm assuming that they would also be food safe at that point too. So, or they wouldn't do it. The KitchenAid wouldn't do it. So, yeah, if you can do a little research on that, I'd be happy to look into it with you. I'd never thought of it. Great idea, and I appreciate you coming on here and asking. Um, what part of the world are you from, if I could ask, Dan? Uh, oh, okay. Yeah, forum. Okay, I get it. Yeah, love spell checking at the computers do nowadays. Yeah, that's a little out of the price range. Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty pricey. I mean, the KitchenAid alone's not cheap. Let me get my towel here just a second. Here. Old sock. I'm just gonna wipe off the excess now. No, it's already dried on the inside and mostly on the outside too, from what I just did. It just doesn't take long to suck this stuff in when you put a thin coat on. And right now, it has a very nice kind of a waxy feel to it. And like I said, there'll be a little bit of refinement to this. I'll probably go back over it with the sanding again, just a little more time. There's a little couple tool marks in here I want to remove, but I want to just see the ending bowl. I'm pretty happy with the size and the shape of it, and kind of bring it over here where you can see it a little closer. What do you think? That's the colors in there. Colors on the outside. And kind of bring it back here, but I think it just has a lot of character to it. It's a nice, substantial bowl. It still has a lot of weight to it. I mean, I could have hollowed it out even thinner, but I had to be careful because I couldn't thin it out here. As you can see, if I was coming down, I'm within about this much of this ridge right here, and I didn't want to didn't want to cut through and then have a hole in my bowl. And on the bottom, I'm probably about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom recess. So I will, when this is all done, I'll probably go back and do a look like a tried and true or some type of finish like that, and buff it in really good, and it'll have sort of a semi gloss finish to it. That'll probably be the end of the bowl, but yeah, I think that's a nice substantial bowl. Somebody could use that for anything around the dinner table. I really like this in here. I think that's really pretty. I need to get a bit of light on that. I just like how the wood looks. I like the almost looks like lightning struck it or something. It's all nice and curved in there. Yeah, very interesting bowl, and it was a good challenge to do. But I do have one other one. If I can get it here. Where did I put it? The problem when you start getting old, you can hide your own Easter eggs, you know. And I got this piece. And you can see I already put the faceplate on, but you can see it has an awful lot of figuring in here, spalting in the wood. I believe this is a piece of birch, and I'm going to get started on it. We'll see what we can look there. How long have I been making bowls? Well, I've been creating sawdust for a long time. I started really getting serious about bowls probably 15 or so years ago. Hard to say, maybe 20. I used to do 10s and other things like that. New York, great. My family was originally from New York. Well, originally from Germany, but originally from New York also. So we were up in the upstate New York area, like the Endicott City, Johnson City, that kind of area, Corning, up through there. Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect to sell this bowl that I just made for more than $100. I think $100 on the walnut bowl would probably be fair. Um, and I don't actually have a website for selling, just so you all know. But if you're really serious about contacting, there is a contact information for my email on my channel page. You just you just hit the part about the channel or whatever, the information about the channel, and it'll show you. Among other things, it'll show my email that you can contact me. And if you want to have further conversation about some of that stuff or anything you see turned here, feel free. One of the things I kind of think that makes it special about buying a piece that we turn on here is that you can always go back to the video, or you can buy it for a friend and you can say, hey, not only do you get the video or you get the bowl, but you also get a video showing how it was made. And you can actually sit there and watch it and see how your bowl that you're using came to be, what it started out looking like. And I think that's always kind of cool. So I'm going to fit this on here. Go back to our old tool rest right here. And this one being a much smaller bowl than the other one, we won't have to deal with some of the things we did with the other, but we're going to have some new things to deal with. And I'll tell you what those are in just a minute. What's the best finish? Well, like I said, it depends on what you're using it for and if you want a gloss finish or not. Some people swear by using shellac. Some guys think that you can use just use a mixture of beeswax and some other maybe carnauba waxes. I've used several different combinations of. Sometimes I use this feed and wax, which is a beeswax and orange oil, and that's a really nice finish. Some guys for their pens will use a CA glue, super glue. So one of the issues that's going to be with this one is we have a branch coming in here and the wood is turning this way. So the branch runs this way, but it had another branch coming in this way and one on the bottom. So we have branches coming in from all directions on this. So it's going to be real interesting to see where the wood goes from there. I need to step over here for just a second. So just bear with me or talk amongst yourselves for just a minute. How do I always get the sexy wood? I'll tell you what, this was part of a tree that we cut down about a year ago. And again, I listen for people with chainsaws in the neighborhood. And when I hear a chainsaw going, I drive over there to see what it is they're cutting down. It's usually as simple as that, to be honest with you. But just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, that was interesting. We sorry about that. We have a our sanding station is outside on the back side of the shop. And when I was standing here talking to you guys, I noticed that it's been raining outside, and I didn't think I'd covered everything up. And sure as heck, I didn't. I still had the electrical on, and had not covered everything up. So, sorry, I had to take a moment out there to get get that before it harms any of my tools out there. Okay, so we're gonna jump into this one and see what kind of damage we can do. Let's see. Hot effort. Okay, I've done that as well. Sometimes the uh, the finished product in its natural form is just too nice. Yeah, I don't like to epoxy my stuff too much. First of all, I hate the smell of epoxy. Second of all, it makes a huge mess, even more so than I'm just not a real big epoxy fan. There are times when I have holes in something that I've had to do that, or I had a whole bunch of olive one time that was left over. There were cutoffs, and I thought, if I put all these cut off olive into epoxy, it would really kind of look sharp. So I've got a few times, but it's not my favorite thing to do. On the old school in a sense, but I like to use gougers and I like to use real pieces of wood, not stuff you get at the store. I don't buy too much wood from the suppliers. And as I said the other day, I think I've got, I don't know, at least 60 or 70 pieces returned to that there. So that's extraordinary. So I got a lot of bowls to go. Plus, I have a project with you see around here. show that to you in just a minute here. So we get this flattened out. Boy, that is good. I'm going to build my blade twice today on that walnut. So maybe we're just fighting a good fight right now. I'm just trying to get a flat surface at the moment. I need to get enough here that I can make a tendon out of it. I have to get it that way. I'm going to sharpen this. You don't mind. I'm going to get back on you for a minute. Just to sharpen this up a little bit. Doesn't take long. That looks good. Okay, there you go. See? Brand new. Okay. Now we're getting to where I can make a flat stuff. Let's see. Use your gouge as a scraper. start down to the beginning? I guess it is. Feel free to turn the light so I can start it again. That way I can keep making these videos, make it worthwhile doing them. Ooh. Always be careful of your phone when you are starting to form a form. And it looks like we got enough here now to make a pennant. I think. See if I can maybe make this square away a little bit. Make sure it's nice and flat. Flat. We'll make a nice even surface to make our. You see, it's got a little tear out there, so I want to make sure that we get that nice and smooth it out a little bit. I like that tear out because tear out means that we're not going to have a safe. Okay, that's a little better. A little rough, but I think it'll be okay. I see this spot, there's no gaps on the back of this, so I put it out here, so that puts me over nice and flat. So we can go in here and make our recessed tenon. Right here. And I know that's a little small, I know that. But I kind of want to see where it's hitting over here. So, do that. Obviously not going to fit yet, but it's going to be pretty darn close. So, bunch of eyeball it. And you can use calipers and so forth to mark it. Well, perfectly fine on it. I use them sometimes too, but lately I've been going with calipers my eyeball. Sometimes just a hair short, so yeah, right on the edge. Okay, good. What closer I can get to making it into a perfect match would be four jaws, the better. I'll show you something on this. A little bit wide. It'll be a little bit wide. Okay. So when they make these, I've shown this a lot of times. When they make these, they cut. They use a saw, and they cut here and they cut here. So what happens is you got the curve of the saw. So you're not round when you're closed. You're round when you're about there, about the thickness of the curve. Okay, and so that's when you get your best fit, because at that point it's a perfect circle. So you're connecting all the way around. This one I got just a little bit big. I always do this, but that's okay. So it's not going to be 100% connected to it, but it should be pretty close. And that's nice and flat, so we should be okay there. And now we can start working on the sides. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's really hit right there. So that's why I always go around my hand first. Hi, Steve. Yeah, well, I will be careful. Hey, Hud, sorry you're leaving, but hope the rest of you stick around. See what we do here. What we're trying to do is try to undercut it. We might go like this. Let's do this. If we undercut it, and follow this bevel, I follow the bevel of the blade here. And that's called riding the bevel. We're going to do that again. We just pick up quite a bit, but we already managed to do a lot of what I wanted to do. Ooh. Now I've covered myself with that stuff. And you see how fast we got in the round? Just 2 turns through. So right now this bark is staying on. Don't know if it'll stay on. We'll see. I didn't really do it for that. I think I need to shape this a little bit. So I'm going to come back here and shape this up just a little. And we're going to do the scraping set. We're going to scrape this way. All the way. I know he's going to give us a finish cut. So, see very quickly, we've got a 10. We've got a roundish bowl. We need to work on that a little bit. Now we'll get out this tool here. We'll go to work. Very clean cut all the way around. So now we've got this, which is okay. A little bit of rough on the edge, but you can see some of the spalking coming out here. We've got the bark is holding on. And we've got some really rough spots in here. I want to try and get this end grain is going to be a problem. It's just going to be a problem because what happens is when it hits here, it gets in because there's nothing here and then it flies back out and it misses cutting that. That's what happens. So I have to try and use my tool a little bit differently. Hold it there. And that took some of it out. Okay. Now the other trick we can do is we can raise the speed even more. Around 1,000. Go higher. The idea of going up to a higher speed is it doesn't have much time to bounce. The chatter becomes much more diminished, and you're able to get more of that turn in there. And that's just probably going to have to be what it is until I get some sanding done on this, because that's a no way I'm going to get too much more out of it. I'll give it another shot with this, and then we'll move on. Yeah, nice little ribbons coming off of that. Still going to be some end grain chatter in there, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. Okay, but it does look real pretty. See, it's going to look pretty on the inside. And we'll go from that. Hey, Roger. And hi, Jill. And Elliot. And Leonard. And a whole bunch of you in there. So, hello to all of you. Please hit that like button and double tap the screen. That really helps. Or subscribe. That's even better. Use more subscribers. It's always helpful. It's like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Make you seasick. Okay. All right. We're going to try and sand this down, I think. Okay. The battery on my helmet's going out. I have to charge that up. All right. Well, let's get some sanding going on this. Let's see what we got. Let me turn on this dust clamp. said, "Hi, how are things?" But I haven't heard anything from you after that. So please let us know what's going on. What is going on in your world? How's the weather? Is it warm, cold? We're getting kind of a rainy day here. I was gonna go grocery shopping, but I don't know. I want to go out in the rain to go grocery shopping. Skip on that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I told you I'd put a little finish on this just so you can see what it looks like for now. So let's do that. I always like to see how this pops when you put a little of this on. Also shows me where maybe I missed something when I was sanding. So that's part of the reason I do it too. It's going, oh, I need to sand that some more. And oh, it really brings out the richness in that bark. That's really, really looking nice on that bark part. I'll show this to you in just a sec. Let me get the oil mixed in here. Start drying. So it's really sucking it up too. As fast as I put it on here, it's disappearing. Boy. This is going to be dry to the touch in a matter of a minute or so. So when you get the bottom, yes, you can see the bottom part. What do you think? Kind of change it up a little bit. A little bit. And kind of off here. Show you what it looks like. Beautiful color there, though. That's work. This is all the spalting and stuff. And that's just the natural coloring of it. It's going to happen now. When this dries, this will dry lighter. I know it looks really dark right now. It will dry lighter. But you can kind of get a general idea. You see all the spalting in here, of what it's going to look like. I'll probably go back and have to sand it again when we go to finish it later. That's okay. Let me vacuum this up just a little bit. Big piece of part that came out there. Fortunately, I wear an apron and it goes to bounce off. right there. I want to tell you, if you don't wear those things, it's really thing. It can really hurt you. Right. Dry. Always wear a mask when you are turning. Smart thing to do. Okay. Take that off. There. There. This wood is a soft hardwood. It is a pretty substantial piece of wood, but it also turns pretty nicely for the most part. Of course, we've only been turning the outside of the knife. Now we get to find out what's going on inside. That's a whole different story. I made this pretty big. I should probably shut that, but that's okay. Let's see how this goes down. Clean it up just to see how it's spinning. It's good now. Yeah, there we go. Now we're good. Right, so you never want to over tighten it. When you over tighten, that's when you can split the wood apart. So you always want to avoid that. You don't want to put too much stress on the wood. You just want to hold the wood. Okay. Thank you, Roger. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the battery on my mask real quick here. Just bear with me a second. So this over here. These trend masks are really cool, and batteries last about 14 hours. But when they're done, they're done. Let me let you know it. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more. Okay. So that one's working. We get this plugged in. Put a battery charge it, and it takes several hours to recharge the battery. Very slow trickle charging. Turn it off. I hope you can hear me okay here. Great. My water. Okay. Oops. And right into it, right into it. Sorry about that. Right, duck under. All right. Now, if you guys are in view again. Unceremoniously knock you off. There we go. I can see what's going on. All right, let's see what we can do here. What kind of damage we got. Fortunately, I know this is pretty flat because I turned with a, I did it with a bandsaw. So, let's see here. Oh, I see. Okay, that's what I'm getting that in. Okay. We're going to be going right into some of this really beautiful wood. Hopefully it stays with us. Whoa, there it went. There it went. No harm, no foul. It's good shape. Good shape. It happens from time to time. Yep. Let me turn back and switch it over again. Yeah, okay. Tighten. Tighten. Yeah. This thing has a little trouble to go, so we're going to see. One of the problems you have when you have really thicker wood, thicker wood tends to grab in places you wouldn't normally expect it to. Turn into soft and hard spots. Yeah. Yeah, we're coming up on 3 hours here. If you haven't already hit the like button and the subscribe button, especially the subscribe button, you may want to do that because when you subscribe, then you get notification when I'm going live again. Like I said, I always do one on Thursdays. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving, but I'll still try and get in a small short live even on Thanksgiving. And it's gonna be a busy day because I'm also I'm a cook on Thanksgiving too. So two other days of the week, usually either a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes a Tuesday or Monday, Wednesday. It just depends on the week. We're usually a couple days apart. We'll be back out here and we'll be doing more of the live. And there's more attention. That's the best way to do it is to be subscribed, be notified. And I usually try to notify you a day ahead. And I can't always be planned. That's the walking on that. I think we're gonna have to stop for today. And we're gonna have to finish this on our next short live because I think this wood's gonna need a little bit of attention to the to this just to make sure that it stays on correctly. And I might need to reinforce that miter with a little bit of CA glue or something so that it stays true and doesn't start popping. Because this is punky wood and it keeps popping out every time the gouge hits that. It causes it to catch because it's punky there. See, it's real soft. I can just kind of gouge that out. I can't do that up here. So I've got hardwood and then punky wood. And until I get past that punky wood, I might have to use a Forstner bit. Maybe I don't like using those, but I might have to use a Forstner bit on that and drive straight in with it. But until I got a chance to kind of look this over, I don't want to bore you guys with all the details of that. But I will come back and we will show you what we do as we do it. Yeah, I know, Benjamin. The bevel is the key. You're right. But unfortunately, what I'm running into is a really punky, pitted. In fact, you can see the hole right here, piece, and it's just and it's got it's got some weird grain running right here. Normally, I would just ride the bevel like I did on the outside. I showed that just a little bit ago, but trying to get the bevel in here, it's just really hard right now. It's not holding well, so I'm going to make sure that my tenon and inside is reinforced a little bit. Make sure that it's strong enough to hold it, because there's no sense going after something that's not good. I've been doing this for 3 hours now, so I'm probably not as attentive as I should be. But I appreciate you all being in here today. Yeah, I know. I do have the proper recesses for the chuck. It is recessed. I'll show you. It is properly recessed and it's dovetailed in. And so the problem is that there's also a little bit of soft wood to this. If I take a little bit of CA to it, that will tighten it up a little bit because it's running nice and true. But if I take a little bit of CA glue to it, I think I can make the fibers just a little bit more because those fibers are tearing out when I was building the bottom. So that's sometimes what happens. I mean, I just did a 10-pound, 10-inch walnut bowl earlier with the same recess right there. This one didn't come off once. It's just sometimes the way the wood is. I prefer the recess miters because that way I can go back in and I can refinish something if I need to without having to build a new tenon on it. So that's my preference actually. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Like I said, it's been 3 hours. My voice is starting to move, and I really appreciate you all being in here. Please subscribe, and you'll get a chance to see how this gets finished in a couple days. I will notify everybody that's a subscriber, and you'll get to watch the rest of this. So for now, I really appreciate you being in here, and we'll have everything up, and you can go back and review this at some other point if you like. We'll put up a couple highlights, and we will talk to all of you real soon.